Bonsoir, bonsoir, on est parti sur Metal Gear Solid 3. On est sur l'arc MGS. C'est vrai que le menu est incroyable. On peut tout faire. On a fait MGS 1, MGS 2, on refait MGS 3. Je suis rouillé sur les Metal Gear. Hein. Je sais pas si on va faire un truc incroyable, mais on est là pour le fun ultime. C'est quoi encore qui change? Ah ça change la vitesse. Oh là. Le menu c'est déjà un jeu. Hein. Comment on remet sur le background? Ah mais je crois que les motifs ils sont que dans les ombres des persos. On voit bien sûr Snake en train de CQC un connard. Hein. Toute sa vie. La meilleure saga. Salut le coyote. Tu vas bien? Bonsoir. Allez on est parti. On va jouer un petit peu chargé. Ah oui parce que j'ai ressorti la PS3. Alors savoir que c'est la version HD collection. Mais que MGS3 sur la version HD collection mon CD il est rayé. À l'ancienne. Du coup j'ai dû comme la dernière fois. Enfin ça nous est arrivé l'année passée quand on a fait comme tous les ans on fait Metal Gear. L'année passée, on s'était rendu compte que le jeu il marchait plus, alors j'ai dû l'installer sur le disque dur. Donc ça c'est la version installée. Et comme d'hab sur MGS3, on a Metal Gear et Metal Gear Solid 2. Qu'on devrait faire un de ces quatre. Mais bon là on part sur une nouvelle partie. Let's go. La question de base, hein, première fois que je joue à un jeu de la série MGS, je crois que ça change rien. Ouah j'ai fait bugger le truc. Vous avez vu ça ou pas? C'est incroyable. Ça comme quoi la PS3 c'est quand même dingue. Hein. Hier t'aurais dû voir Epic la fin de F9 chez Rio. J'étais pas là moi hier. Nouvelle partie. Première fois que je joue à un jeu MGS. Je crois que ça change rien du tout quand tu dis ça. J'aime MGS 1. Si mes souvenirs sont bons, t'as une recovery de stamina meilleure parce qu'il n'y a pas de stamina dans MGS 2. J'aime MGS 2. Tu ressembles simplement à notre bon vieux Raiden. Et bien entendu nous on aime MGS 3. MGS 3 qui débloque les difficultés difficiles et donne quelques camos en plus. Alors est-ce qu'on ferait extrême européen pour se faire chier? De toute façon on va faire une run fun tu vois. Mais c'est quand même marrant d'avoir un game over quand on se fait repérer. Ou alors on joue en difficile. Un petit extrême européen. À l'ancienne. Comme ça la run elle va durer 3 jours. Ah. Contrairement à MGS2, je m'efface. Qu'est-ce que c'est bien, qu'est-ce que c'est bien. Let's go, j'ai déjà des frissons. Dites-moi si le son est bien. Ah, let's go. Je monte un peu le son. En vrai, j'ai trop envie d'être sur l'écran.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask.
Me parle pas, mec, me parle pas.
Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop-off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Ah, let's go, let's go. Kojimbo. Ah, mais l'intro de ce jeu, quel plaisir.
Jack, I've
Toujours.
got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov? Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No. According to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Oh, l'histoire elle est quand même bien foutue hein. L'histoire elle est quand même bien ancrée dans la réalité hein. Il est fort, il est fort. À chaque fois j'oublie à quel point c'est bien foutu. Je vois. Mais moi il a fini le jeu, c'est cool.
Infiltrate Selino-Yarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov and bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Fulton.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can
Oh,
have 500
God.
pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong, you'll be eating dinner, breakfast, and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Ok, ok. Je peux manger dans la jungle. I'm used to it. Ah, c'est stylé, c'est stylé. That's what we want, man.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each
Je
other.
cache un peu le texte, mais ça va, ça se lit.
Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be
Tom.
Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree,
The action button.
the tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button.
Je le savais.
I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio.
Encore et toujours.
Can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you.
Encore et toujours de
If you need
action
to talk to
button.
me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Ok. Ta-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Ta-na-na. Oh là là, tellement heureux de rejouer Snake. Est-ce que je réussis encore à pivoter sur place? Presque. Oui. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Let's go. Oh les roulades. Oh le plaisir. Hein. J'ai quoi là? Petit couteau. C'est le couteau, c'est lequel? Ah celui-là c'est le couteau de la cheville. Parce qu'il y a le couteau du CQC, il y a le couteau de manger. Alors on a qui au codec? Major Tom, ok. Il a fini mais c'était moche. Oh commencez pas. Oh let's go. Alors j'ai envie de faire tous les calls de bouffe avec notre cher waifu bien sûr. Mais ça on verra ça plus tard. Là je les prends pour m'amuser mais je sens tous les jeter au bout d'un moment. De toute façon vu qu'on va sans doute pas finir le jeu aujourd'hui parce que j'ai envie de m'amuser un peu. Ce qu'il va y avoir c'est que tout sera pourri demain. Faut pas oublier que la bouffe pourrit quand tu joues pas du premier coup. Let's go! Got my gear back. J'aime trop comment c'est un T-Rex Snake quand il tient des trucs. Et là avec son bic.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat or bodily waste.
Ouais, faut enterrer son caca.
Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule.
Je me demande comment les Russes ont vu ce jeu quand il est sorti d'ailleurs.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the
Pendant
enemy.
que j'y pense.
Send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So how do I come back to life?
Oh bah cheese the fear. Hein. Ça par contre c'est indéniable. Hein. Moi je combats pas cette merde. Hein.
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She?
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic.
Oh!
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield.
After a week, no one has a name.
What's your name?
Pardon.
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Hein?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Snake en full bug.
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top-secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top-secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake? Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes?
It's good to hear your voice again.
Same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC. Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the Major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Oh là 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 là, la musique pendant la conversation avec The Boss. Et même tout ce qu'elle dit, c'est tellement encore d'actualité, logique et fait du sens. C'est quand même très très bien fait. Hein. Très 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 bien fait. Hein. Et vous voyez, c'est pas le même couteau. Oh là, comment il est en mode T-Rex. Il a toujours son couteau sur sa cheville. Et là, c'est l'autre couteau. Le couteau qu'il a sur son torse, je crois. Le CQC knife. C'est des petits trucs, mais c'est super intéressant à voir. Alors. First. Un premier serpent. Viens ici, toi. Ah, ça m'a tout de suite rappelé à quel point le jeu est bien. Hein. Il aura pas fallu longtemps. Hein. Alors, déjà. Un petit call avec paramédic. Je sais pas si elle a un truc à me dire. Ah.
The reticulated python is said to be the longest snake in the world. The biggest ones can grow up to 10 meters in length. Although they're not poisonous, they're still very dangerous, so be careful around them. They have a highly ferocious temperament and they can swallow whole, even large animals like deer and pigs. Their most distinguishing feature is the mesh pattern of their scales.
Peut manger un cochon le truc, hein.
Highly effective natural camouflage. If you think there might be a reticulated python about, pay close attention to your surroundings. Otherwise, you could get bitten before you even know it's there. It's a huge snake, but you should be able to capture it alive by using the tranquilizer gun. I'll bet if you capture one and throw it at an enemy, it'll give him a good scare.
On fera ça plus loin dans le jeu, ça.
But how do they taste?
Huh?
Do they taste good?
You're actually going to eat one.
Why else would I be asking?
Bah oui.
Cannibal.
What was that?
Nothing. Let's see what the guide says. Ah, you're in luck. It says they taste pretty good.
Good. I can hardly wait.
J'adore tellement les conversations avec paramédic. Et plus tard, il y aura des conversations avec Sigint qui sont dingues. Ça va appeler tout seul. Hein.
The Russian oyster mushroom is an edible variety that belongs to the Shimeji family. It's known to be particularly rich in vitamin B1 and niacin. Apparently, it's usually found growing on tree stumps and hollow logs, so look there if you want to eat some.
Et c'est bon ou c'est pas bon?
I see you found some Siberian inkcap mushrooms. The Siberian inkcap is a mushroom from the inkcap family. Its life cycle is transitory. As soon as the spores mature, the cap starts to turn black, liquefy, and melt away.
And that's why they call it an ink cap?
That's right. It doesn't really turn to liquid, but you get the idea. In its immature state, before it melts away, it's valued as a source of food. Just be sure not to eat them while you're drinking alcohol.
Why's that?
Ink caps contain coprin, which inhibits the function of aldehyde dehydrogenase. This prevents the body from breaking down alcohol, causing a buildup of acetaldehyde.
Meaning?
Meaning it will give you the hangover from hell.
I don't drink.
Wait a minute.
What?
You think I'd drink alcohol in the middle of a mission?
Wouldn't you?
Bah ouais.
No.
Well, I'm knocking a shot back now.
What?
Just teasing you. Oh, come on. Where's your sense of humor?
I need a drink.
I need a drink. Ah, Snake.
That area is inhabited by the giant anaconda.
Ok, il parle pas de...
The giant anaconda is believed to be the largest snake in the world in terms of weight and diameter.
Ah, il faut que je le trouve.
It's not poisonous, but its large size makes it extremely powerful. They say it even eats crocodiles. Its only natural predator is man.
And snake.
And snake. The giant anaconda is a very large snake, but you should be able to capture it alive using the tranquilizer gun.
Why alive?
So how does it taste?
How does it taste?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Glad I didn't disappoint you. So?
Well, the guide says it tastes all right.
Good. I'll have to try some.
Il y a une phrase qui a pas été traduite. La meilleure en plus, quand il dit je suis content de pas t'avoir déçu du coup. Vu qu'elle savait qu'il allait dire ça. Ah là. Tout ça m'a donné faim. Non, c'est pas comme ça. Petit Snake. Ah mais j'ai pas de... Alors, faut savoir les goûts. Goût inconnu mais censé être comestible. On va goûter les champignons. Disgusting. Ah, c'est dégueulasse. Mais il faut savoir que dans le jeu, plus tu manges une bouffe, plus Snake il l'aime bien. Comme dans la vraie vie. Même quand t'aimes pas un truc, si tu fais que le bouffer, au bout d'un moment ça passe. Le marais, toujours pas d'ennemis hein. Wasn't there a snake? I don't see one. Bref, les crocos. Les crocos qu'on peut facilement ignorer. Mais qu'on peut aussi full tuer je crois. Voilà, il suffit de bien entendu s'accroupir à côté d'un crocodile et de faire des X avec sa main. C'est bien connu pour les tuer. C'est pour ça qu'il n'y a jamais eu d'accident avec des humains tués par des crocodiles ou des alligators. Parce que... Vous avez vu le mec qui fait le mec? Alors on peut mourir. Hein. On peut mourir dans le jeu. On peut couler dans l'herbe. Y'a quoi ici? Oh un silencieux, ça c'est bien. Que je m'en prends un deuxième? Allez. 2 allers-retours au camp, oui, dans Outward, c'est normal hein. Tellement de petites choses à gauche à droite. Est-ce qu'on peut mettre un croco en cage? Ah ça l'endort juste. C'est amusé. Dans le jeu on peut bien sûr déséquiper et équiper les silencieux pour pas les gâcher. Il n'y a plus par l'OpenD pour le sac. Mais en fait ça a été fixe depuis longtemps bro. Moi je pensais que t'avais les 2 batteries électriques. Non mais elle note. Tu n'as pas suivi mes let's play.
The Indian gavial is a crocodile that originally lived in freshwater regions in India and Nepal.
Why are Indian crocodiles way out here?
They're captive crocodiles that were brought here for research purposes but escaped and became wild again.
What?
Indian gavials are large creatures. Adult males grow
C'est
to
vrai, ça?
6 meters in length. You'll never catch one alive, even if you use the tranquilizer gun.
Oh.
Got it. So,
How does it taste?
Taste?
Oui.
Yes, I did look into that. You know what they always say. Tastes like chicken.
It's like chicken.
But be careful when capturing an Indian gavial. Normally they're cowardly creatures, but the ones in the forest there are belligerent. Apparently they attack humans.
What do you mean?
They weren't the direct subject of any serious research, but some think they may have become violent as a side effect of the atomic research that was conducted nearby.
Ok, good to know. Je vais voir si The Boss a un truc à dire.
Camouflage is an indispensable tool when you're sneaking through the jungle. To use camouflage.
Non mais elle, c'est le tuto The Boss. Laisse-moi tranquille. Moi je veux les petites discussions stylées. Mais je sais qu'il y a une conversation qu'on va pouvoir faire avec The Boss qui est un peu sympa. On est d'accord, c'est juste une plante. Ah non, c'est les maîtresses de pas. Alors est-ce que... Est-ce qu'ils viennent me chercher des noises, les abeilles? C'est-à-dire que en plus de donner de la bouffe vraiment sympa, ça... on fera le call de ce truc là plus tard parce que... ça donne de longuants pour se soigner des blessures. Oh c'est quoi ça? Mango. Enfin il y a un fruit. Oh je suis tout ce qui bouge, let's go! Après je suis en extrême européen donc faut quand même que je me rappelle de comment on joue au jeu. Ça va venir, ça va venir. Alors dans la première zone il y a un objet un peu caché qu'on peut récupérer sur un des soldats. On va essayer de le récupérer pour faire un call marrant avec The Boss. J'aurais dû me préparer à manger, j'oublie toujours quand je joue à Metal Gear, c'est faut manger. Je cache pas vraiment le texte, calmez-vous. And grenades. Quand il y a des voix, faut que j'augmente un petit peu, j'ai l'impression. Hein.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law.
Oh, The Fear, on va le cheese.
The CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission.
Oui.
Got that?
Got that.
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage.
My camouflage.
Use your camouflage by selecting camouflage from the survival viewer. The uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively.
Oui, même pas avec l'arnaque de la Deathspill. C'est même le tuto. Ah, trop marrant. Le tuto Snake qui se lève et qui court en rond, quoi. Like an idiot.
You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index. The camo index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa.
Yes, mom. Yes, mom.
The key is to make yourself one with nature.
We know.
Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Yes, mom. En parlant du camouflage. C'est vrai que je l'ai pas encore changé. On va penser en feuille. J'aime trop le système de camouflage d'ailleurs du jeu. Un petit éclat. Ouais, un petit éclat. J'aime bien l'éclat. C'est good enough. Il y a un truc là, mais je sais pas si c'est nécessaire. Alors normalement, la portée du CQC, elle est... Ah mais je me rappelle plus de la touche CQC. C'est rond. C'est rond CQC ou c'est carré? Pam pam pararam. C'est rond. Non c'est carré. C'est carré, c'est carré. Rond c'est les auto-attaques. Alors normalement... Mais... C'est bien carré. Ça y est, je sais plus jouer. T'es en mode extrêmement... Ouais, toujours. J'aime trop Game Over on Notice. J'avais pas mon arme CQC, je pense. En plus, vu que ça fait longtemps... Mais... J'y arrive plus. Je me souviens plus des touches. C'est rond? Mais si c'est rond. R2 comme dans le 5. Comment ça? Pourquoi Pourquoi c'est fort le son? Comment t'oses dire R2 comme dans le 5 alors qu'on joue à MGS3? Ah c'est rond, c'est rond. C'est rond, c'est rond. Mais vous remarquez que contrairement à MGS2, ils alertent pas direct. Ah c'est rond. Ils alertent pas direct et c'est ça qui rend le jeu insane. Oh, c'est quand tu veux. Oh ma manette elle veut pas. Hein. Tan, tan, tan. R2 comme dans le 5, on aura tout entendu. Je crois que d'ici je peux en viser un qui se balade. Oh j'ai pas eu le temps, il se barre. Ah dommage. Arrête, feuille, feuille. Ok, merci. Et je garde éclat, j'aime bien éclat. Non mais ça a rien à voir, c'est que tu nous dis comme alors que c'est un jeu qui est sorti avant. Donc ça peut pas être comme dans le 5, ça marche pas comme ça. The brain, elle note. Wow. Oh les mecs. Oh les mecs en Q. En Q. En Q, let's go. Alors je crois que c'est lui qui a le truc que je cherche. On reviendra le réveiller. Je crois que c'est bon ouais. Je crois que c'est lui qui a le truc que j'ai envie de check. Tan tan tan. Les munitions. Y'a pas un truc stylé à récupérer là-bas je crois. C'est une run pour le Raw Fox Sound, mais je fais pas le Raw Fox Sound, je joue juste en extrême européen. Raw Fox Sound, tout ça je les ai déjà fait plein de fois. Mais à une époque révolue. Là c'est juste pour le fun, j'ai envie de rejouer à MGS3. Et m'amuser un peu, c'est pour ça que je fous un peu la merde. De toute façon, le Raw Fox Sound c'est mort parce que je garde toutes les cinématiques. Et c'est déjà réveillé l'autre. C'est pas grave. Le truc c'est que c'est lui qu'il faut que je réveille. La danse pour moi. Alors comment je fais encore? Et voilà, donne les objets. Donne les objets. Je sais plus comment on fait. Comment on fait? Merde, je vais tirer dessus. Et quelle touche c'est clic droit? C'est pas grave. Oui, moins de 5 heures, ouais c'est ça. Donc les cutscenes elles t'arnaquent déjà. Elles t'arnaquent déjà le Fox Round si tu fais avec le jeu en faisant l'histoire. Comment on fait encore pour faire qu'un mec il te drop son stuff? Ça me revient pas. Je crois que tu peux le faire que si tu le choke ou quand il est par terre peut-être. Ça c'est trop marrant par contre. Genre dans le jeu, les mecs ils alertent pas. En fait c'est tellement mieux qu'MGS2 parce que MGS2 tu peux pas faire ça. Tu peux pas venir dans le dos de quelqu'un et le CQC en mode rien à foutre. T'as forcément des petits bails. T'as forcément des petits bails qui t'en empêchent. Genre le mec il t'entend vite fait. En fait il t'entend avant que tu puisses avoir la portée du CQC alors qu'ici les mecs ils se TP limite. Vas-y donne-moi ton livre de fessier. Merde. J'ai appuyé, ça a pas marché. Avec le stick, t'appuies trop fort pour l'interroger. Oui, j'ai interrogé mais même pas parlé, je vais direct tirer dessus. Clic gauche, je me rappelle clic gauche c'est interroger effectivement. Don't wanna sleep. Don't wanna sleep. Clic gauche c'est interroger, si j'appuie trop fort sur rond je le tue. Et après je peux le choquer un peu. Mais je me rappelle je réussis à lui faire gigoter le fion. Oh c'est incroyable la portée du CQC. Bro. Il n'y a rien bro. Ouais, on va réessayer. En tout cas, je me suis rappelé que tu peux effectivement lui tourner dessus avec, avec R1. Oh, ma manette, elle est vieille. Hein. 3 fois, j'ai essayé de tirer, il a juste rangé son arme.
Freeze. Speak.
Hornets. They're terrifying.
Speak.
Crocodiles taste great.
Freeze.
Ouais, je crois que c'est comme ça. Et maintenant, il se met sur le dos et maintenant, il va check son booty. Check ton booty là. Ça marche pas. Ah voilà, c'est comme ça. Voilà, je me disais bien. Encore. Voilà, c'est bien. Encore. Bouge ton boule. Ah mais c'est pas ça que je veux. Merde. Voilà. Merci. Je peux dormir. Je peux dormir, j'ai dit. La petite revue de boule. Pas sujet d'écran qui se réveille puis on fera le call plus tard. Il se réveille vite en extrême européen. J'aurais peut-être dû mettre en difficile pour qu'on s'amuse un peu plus. Mais ça va, j'ai le temps. Ah mais maintenant j'ai la caution ici, du coup je peux pas faire ma strat. Quoique ça va, je peux m'en sortir. Je sais plus si c'est ici que j'utilise d'habitude DMP, mais je vais le mettre. Oui, il est en caution, du coup il est pas dans la position de se faire avoir. Bon, j'ai pas l'habitude d'avoir caution ici donc ça va être un peu plus compliqué que d'hab je pense. On va quand même s'en sortir. Tan tarararan 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 pouet 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 pouet. Au pire on va se faire voir et... Ah il s'est jamais endormi hein. Ah les gamers quoi. Ah t'es sérieux? Je crois que c'est le cordage. Oh god. Let's go. Merde. Let's go. Ah y'a lui là-bas. Ah mais je crois que je peux pas lui tirer dessus sur le cordage. Ah si ça marche c'est bon. Oh le pont de l'abus. J'ai oublié le pont de l'abus. Ouais, il déconne ce pont quoi. Pararam, pararam, pam 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 pararam. Il y a aussi moyen de les faire shake le booty debout, hein, mais j'ai pas trouvé d'ailleurs. C'est pas que par terre. Donne-moi des munitions ou un silencieux parce que j'ai un peu fait le con là. Des munitions c'est bien. J'ai pas besoin de beaucoup de munitions. Mais faut que je fasse le call avant d'avancer, sinon je vais me faire avoir, je pourrais pas le faire. Alors comment on fait encore le call faut que j'équipe le truc je crois. Do I need stun grenades? Non. Le nid frelon, on va faire le call aussi. On va d'abord appeler Big Boss. Ah, The Boss. Oh le petit livre. Oh merde! Je me suis trompé. Can I still call her? Sinon faut que je meure et que je revienne.
What the hell have you been doing these past 5 years anyway?
What's with you all of a sudden?
It's like you've forgotten everything I taught you.
That's not true.
Then why do you keep getting spotted?
Mais je m'amuse.
Spotted because your camouflage isn't effective enough and because you're not being careful.
Elle me gronde.
Pay attention to your camouflage index. Watch how the enemy moves and proceed one step at a time. Is that clear?
Écoute, on joue pas en facile The Boss.
Is that clear?
Yes, mom. It's okay, mom.
Visibility is poor in
Je crois que j'ai plus le call. See ya, Snake, see ya. Je crois que j'ai plus le call. Oui, mam. Je te jure. Là, elle m'engueule quoi. Je peux même pas m'amuser. Moi, à la base, maman, je voulais récupérer un petit livre intéressant quoi. Je peux plus vivre quoi. Mais y a pas moyen de le regarder en le gardant en main? Y a pas une embrouille comme ça? Je sais plus. Parce que je me rappelle, y a moyen de tourner les pages et tout. Alors peut-être faut que je me couche. Je sais plus. Je sais plus comment on fait. Bref.
What the hell have you been doing these past?
Okay, mom, that's not what we're looking for.
Visibility.
Faut pas que je sois accroupi, un truc comme ça. Je peux tourner les pages, mais je trouve pas les touches, ça fait trop longtemps.
You can only use CQC to
S'en fout, on connaît le CQC maintenant, ça toucheront.
wearing the leaf pattern camouflage.
Non, mais fais pas les calls que j'ai envie de faire avec Sigint.
What is that you have?
Ah.
Honestly, when did you start reading magazines like that? Didn't I teach you how to take care of business without having to rely on that sort of thing?
Oh, cette
I'm
phrase.
sure some of the enemy grunts will find that sort of magazine as appealing as you seem to. Place it on the ground and you might be able to divert their attention.
Oh là là, rien que pour rien que pour la phrase là. Take care of business on yourself. C'est dingue, hein. C'est dingue ce jeu.
Got yourself a Baltic hornet's nest. Baltic hornets are a variety of hornets that inhabit that area. The difference between them and other hornets is that they produce honey in their nests.
How do they taste?
Inside the nest are larvae, pupa, and adults. You can eat them all. In particular,
Ah, je peux manger des larves. Mange des serpents, ok, mais des larves.
It's easy to digest and helps pep you up when you're feeling tired. In short, it's the perfect survival food. Honey can also be used as a burn ointment. When honey is applied to a burn, it creates a protective coating over the skin. When you knock down a hornet's nest, a burn ointment will appear along with it, so don't forget to pick it up. Of course, the hornets aren't going to give up their nest without a fight. If you knock a nest down, a large swarm of hornets will come flying out, so be careful.
Oh, le combat contre The Pain. C'est tout ce que ça me rappelle. Hein. J'ai autre chose, non?
Looks like you found
Ah. What?
Yeah, it's a fruit that's found only in that region. It's related to the jackfruit, which is commonly found in Southeast Asia.
Jackfruit, huh?
Yep, he's a cannibal.
Hmm?
I didn't say anything.
No, I'm sure you...
I said, I'm sure you'd like it.
Oh.
Golova means head in Russian. It's probably called that because the fruit grows to about the size of a human head. It's supposedly pretty good to eat with a uniquely sweet flavor. The fruit itself is fairly large, so you could make a meal out of it. Golovas grow directly off the trunk of the tree. If you're running low on stamina, it might be a good idea to keep an eye on the tree trunks.
Elle est trop stylée paramédic.
The gauge below your
Non mais ça c'est du tuto.
snake, that
Merde. Elle parlait d'un truc stylé, elle parlait de grenouille. Pas grave.
you'll find a fruit called the Yabloko Moloko growing in that area.
De Yoblo quoi?
Diablo, what now?
Yabloko Moloko.
Moloko de la Moloko.
Translates as milk apple. It's a type of star apple. The juice is thick and sweet, like milk, hence the name. And if you cut one in half lengthwise, you'll see a star-shaped ring radiating out from the center.
Hence the star apple.
Y'a pas un...
Right. The star-shaped part has a gelatinous
un
texture
animal
and
super
is said to
rare
be
qu'on doit
especially
capturer dans le jeu? Je l'ai fait une fois, je sais plus comment on fait.
Sounds useful.
Genre un dragon du Komodo ou je sais pas quoi. Dans le même
Did
style.
you say something?
No, back to the mission.
For once. Pour une fois elle était utile, on va save.
Saving the game, Snake?
Mais oui, ça fait quoi? 1 heure déjà? Oh là, mais on va vite faire Sokolov. Hein. On va quand même pas se quitter. Ah, quoique. Je refais cette zone et puis j'arrête et on fait Sokolov. Parce que Sokolov, il y a full cutscene. Ce sera le début de la mercieuse vision, mission. Into Sokolov, quoi. Sinon, ça va durer 3 jours.
Hey, Snake, you
La dernière fois qu'on l'a joué, c'était en 2018.
No, what is it?
It's a movie.
Ah oui,
You haven't seen it?
les calls des
It's
sauvegardes.
about this monster called Godzilla, who grows to an enormous size in a nuclear test and goes on a rampage in Tokyo.
Nuclear test, huh? Then the Marshall Islands must be crawling with giant monsters right about now.
It's just make-believe.
Oui, mais l'ancienne vidéo d'ABONNEZ-VOUS, c'était une story run.
Snake, it's a
Donc
movie,
j'ai pas fait
not a
tous les
report out
calls.
of Los
C'est juste pour
Alamos.
l'histoire. 8 heures, on fait le jeu en 2-2, c'est bon.
Godzilla is immune to all
Là, ça va
weapons
faire
and
plus de 8 heures le
humanity has no
jeu.
way to stop the monster.
Que j'appelle
Dr.
paramédic, je vais appeler
develops a new type
Sigint.
of weapon, but meanwhile, Godzilla is getting closer
Je vais
and
faire des
closer to
conneries.
Tokyo, obliterating everything in its path. It
Waouh.
was originally a Japanese movie,
Elle adore les
but they
films.
made an American version too. I recommend seeing the original Japanese one if you ever get the chance. It's mostly mindless fun, but it's also got a serious anti-nuke message as well.
Where can I see the original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Really?
You just have to go to Japan.
Well, if you wait 40 years, you might be able to see it in America too.
Why's that?
2004 will be Godzilla's 50th birthday.
They're
Oh.
still going to be making Godzilla movies then?
Of course.
Everybody loves
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
You sure know a lot about movies.
Une
I don't
malade.
suppose you're the movie watching type, are you?
Not really.
Okay, then I'll tell you everything.
J'ai
I
trop
know.
hâte du call sur les
Going
zombies.
gets tough. Movies can save your life. It's always good to be able to look at things from a different perspective when you get in a jam. That's the magic of movies.
No kidding. Well, I guess it might at least make a nice distraction.
That's the spirit, Snake. Have a little fun.
Mais oui. C'est pour ça que pour une fois, on ne fait pas des big boss run. On s'amuse. Même si ça me fait mal. On va mourir. C'est tout ce que je voulais faire. Hein. J'aime pas appeler Major Tom.
Sokolov should be at the
Voilà pourquoi. Parce qu'il me dit juste continue le jeu. On va essayer de sauvegarder de temps en temps, comme ça on a le... On a le call... C'est celui-là? Ah merde, il est plus là le frelon parce que je l'ai déjà... Mais non pas du tout, c'est juste que je sais pas viser. And here they go. Je faillis me foirer. Pas censé avoir camouflage pluie là. Ah non, il y a le mec qui est là, j'attends qu'il se retourne et je le CQC. Merde, il est où? Ah, il est parti avec eux? Ah non, il est là. Plutôt le hop. Voiture de part de problème. Ok, on peut continuer. Je vous quitte, on se retrouve pour ce collab.